Hello, everybody. Welcome to Nine Lives Energy. My name is Chrissy Smith, and together we energize your body from the inside out. I have practitioner Deborah Robinson with us here today, and we are going to talk about our Woos Day forecast for the next couple of weeks, month, all the planetary energies that are going around at this time. Make sure that you do like this video if you get something out of it, and comment and share it, because it does help with the algorithm and helps people get this information who need it the most. And every time you do hit that notification bell, another person gets healthier. And let's talk about a little bit what's going on with Uranus. He went direct.
Sure did.
And
Did it on
lots
the
of
27th.
changes are going on, especially if you have a lot of Aquarius in your chart, folks, or if you have a heavy placement of Uranus and seeing if it is your chart ruler. So I noticed that I'm having some trouble this week trying to absorb all these energies. How's your week treating you, Deborah?
Well, my Aquarius, and when it comes to where it's sitting at, it's in the eighth house.
Um, all
So,
about transformation.
all about transformation, all about power, all about wealth, and of course, we're having a 8 year because of the 2024. So I'm just opening up and said, let the power come on in. Let me be empowered for the changes that are happening. And Uranus is the ruling planet for Aquarius, and of course, Pluto slipped over into Aquarius on the 20th. So it's like, who boy, now, all right, what's next? And so now with Uranus that is currently sitting in Taurus, and it went direct on the 27th. So all the planets are direct now. And you've got Jupiter that's still side by side with Uranus sitting there, and that's the planet of expansion. And when you look at it, Uranus is all about revolution, revolution for the evolution, evolution of what it is about, our freedom. It's about technology. It's about sudden changes. And then with it being in Taurus, what are we talking about? We're talking about it could reform our economics, our agriculture. There's so many suddenlies. We don't know which suddenly is going to happen because Uranus is about surprise, surprise, surprise. And it happens, and all you can say is, that was Uranus because it's fast and it's furious, and it also is a generational planet. So we are being impacted as a generation. Yes, Aquarius is definitely full on when it comes to the collective. And yes, it is the individual too, but this is more, all that's happening is more for the collective because we're doing our individual work. Now, February is going to come in on tomorrow. And when I say it is power packed, it is power packed. But right now, I'm going to tell you what's going on. In right now, we've got the moon that's in Libra, and of course, the sun is currently still in Aquarius. We've got all these earth signs that's in here. We've got Pluto. No, take that back. We got Mercury, we got Mars, and we've got Venus all sitting in Capricorn, which they're all going to be shifting over in the month of February over to Aquarius with Pluto in there. And I'm like, whew, that is going to be a lot. So when we start looking at our technology, our AI, all these things, economics, politics, you name it, individual relationships, because on the 13th of February, the day before Valentine's Day, I don't know, it might be
Single Awareness Day. Single Awareness Day.
Single Awareness Day, Love Day, Valentine's Day, all of it. The heavens is going to be saying a whole lot because that's when Mars is going to shift over into Aquarius. And it's going to be right there. So Mars and Pluto together, oh my goodness, that's a lot of juju. That's a lot of action energy. And at the same time, there could be someone who comes out of the blue and just shows up magically, and we're like, who in the world and what in the world? It's like looking up in there. Is that Superman? Is that Spider-Man? Is that Wonder Woman? What's going on? So it's grabbing our attention to these things. Now, as early as the 9th of February, because that's when we are having our full moon. I'm sorry, that's when we're having our new moon, not the full moon. We're having the new moon that's going to occur. And when it happens with that, and it's like, wow, all these different signs that are moving in Aquarius with it. Mercury is going to be the first one. So we got Mercury, Mars, and Venus that are going to be shifting over to Aquarius and all of that. So what is the communication going to be like? I mean, that's full on air, full on air. So there's going to be a lot of things that are going to be said. There's going to still be a lot of aggressive energy that's about. There's going to be suddenlies. And again, who can predict what those suddenlies are going to be? Now, again, shifting back to Uranus being in Taurus, we can expect some earthquakes. And, you know, it's like pushing your neighbor, getting your neighbor together. Come on, shake out of this thing so that you can move on, because we do have a lot of this energy that is giving us the ability to achieve what it is that we've dreamed about, what we visioned about, what we meditated on, what we're meditating on. And so if we keep our eyes on those things, doing that individual work, this definitely is going to affect our collective that's happening. And so I think a lot of people are anticipating things happening very fast. And yes, they are. But we have a long way to go. 20 years is a long time. But you know what? I'm going to tell you something. Being the age that I am, and I'm not age hindered at all, so let me make sure I say that. But I had a great grandbaby that just had a third birthday. And I'm like, did 3 years go by that fast? And I know 3 years, he's 3 years of age, but the whisk of the time that it went by. And so when I look at my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren as they curve over into their 20s, and my daughter's getting ready to be 48, and I'm like, wow, this is. So 20 years, yes, it is a time of span, but at the same time, remember, because we are in this 8th year, which we turn the 8 on the side, and that represents the eternity. And so that keeps us in the mindset of kind of shifting away from, I don't have enough time to do this, I'm running out of time to do this, to know that timing is eternal. So when we look at it from that perspective, I'm going to keep on living so that I can see what is going to happen in this 20-year time span. And if I don't, it's a wish. You know, it is what it is. You can't deny mortality whatsoever. And that's happening too. So it's all good. And that's what we have to remember. It's just that there is a lot of things that are shaking up, and the innovation that's happening. Oh my goodness, there could be innovation in health. I mean, all kinds of things are going to be happening. But one thing that I do love about Jupiter and Uranus being in the sign of Taurus, because Taurus, the key word for Taurus is I have. I was thinking about that this morning. And then when you look at the key word for Aquarius is I know. And when you put those together as I know I have, oh my goodness gracious, because in our culture, we look at the many things that are so material, and Taurus is definitely about the material as well as it is about the spiritual. And it's helping us to bring into balance what really matters, how we can have more gratitude, and how we really are not missing anything when it comes to the material. So when it all boils down to it, as I said, our economics are going to be impacted, our health is going to be impacted, our earth is going to be impacted, and with Jupiter being there, then things are going to be magnified. They're going to be big. And so we get to see all of this, and that is a beautiful thing. And so we have to look at, what are we innovating? Because we have those energies that are there that are working on our behalf to help us to innovate. This is a very creative time. I was telling one of my friends this morning, because she had made a comment to me yesterday, and I did not know what to say in the moment. So when you don't know what to say in the moment, and the reason why I said that is because of how Mercury is going to be shifting into Aquarius. That's some fast energy. And your mind is going to be going very fast. That's some speed up energy. And so, but it is okay to say at the moment nothing if you don't know what to say, instead of trying to put fillers in. But one of my favorite spots is when wisdom drops in is at the kitchen sink. And because I have a window there, and I was standing there, and all of a sudden the words came to what I should say to inspire her. So if my goal on the daily is to bring some inspiration somewhere, because that touches the heart. You can't beat inspiration. Again, motivation, somebody's got to push you and come on, let's do it. But when you are inspired, that's so heart oriented. And so that's what gets us going, because it pulls us. So I called her back and I gave her what had dropped in, and she was like, oh, wow, that just made my day. Because what she was telling me, I would have been deep down in despair too. I would have felt hopelessness too. And so we have to be reminded through all of the self-worth, because Taurus is ruled by Venus. And so that is our love, that is our material, and how we value things. And so as we look at how we are valuing things, the most important thing when it comes to that overall Taurus energy is, what is your self-worth about? And we have talked about this before, but it is worth repeating so that it can get ingrained and embedded. We talk about, what's been ingrained in us, and how, we've been impacted. Okay, I understand all of that, and I get all of that too, and I agree with every bit of it. But then what are we doing about it? The work that we're doing about it now has to do with our self-worth. How are we valuing? And again, when we put our hands to work, our minds to work, to become the innovators that we are. And so we're going to see a lot of activism too. We've got some that's going on, but we're getting ready to see a whole lot more, because again, Uranus is that nonconformist. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. And they don't mind. And so each of us has that with the ability, with the big word, to say no. And as we know, Capricorn is all about our work ethics. All these things are changing. So don't remain in resistance. Look at the places to say, where am I resisting? Because that is one of the things of the Taurus energy, because it's fixed energy, and so is Aquarius. And so it's instead of being resistant in something, it just means you're going to delay it, because the lessons are going to keep on coming, so that you can begin to be your true, authentic self. That's another thing about Taurus. And so here Uranus and Jupiter are in Taurus to help us to step out of those conditioning things, that the circumstances, situations, all those things, we are being peeled from the inside so that we can move into the creative being, so that we can create better economics for our individual selves, which will certainly help our families. It will help our communities. Why did I say that? Because that's what Aquarius is all about. It is about networking. And when I look at my world, when I say I have these small communities here, and I did not do it on purpose, it organically happened. And so we have to allow these things to organically happen. How? Just being, simply just being. And think about it now. Again, with Jupiter can overdo. I was telling my grandson this morning, I said, you can do too much and you cannot do enough. You can be right there where it is balanced, where you are not overdoing and where you're not underdoing. Because again, when it comes to Jupiter, it doesn't have any measurement. It's just big. It just gives and gives and gives and gives. And so what it is helping us with, to be able to see things from a different perspective. When we see things from a different perspective, then our point of view can be entirely different. And so when we keep staying where we're staying steady, as these suddenly changes happen, so we are in for a good ride. And I call February my favorite month because it is very short. It's very, very short. So then we'll slip on into the Pisces time frame, but we'll talk about that later. But this Uranus direct, and this part I loved. I was reading this paper and it said this. Let me get back to the page because I wanted to make sure that I read this part. Uranus is here to teach us to detach in certain ways, for it is uprooting and altering moments of life that push us to do better and puts us on the right path. Uranus is commonly referred to as the Great Awakener. This planet ultimately wants us to change our perceptions, and I just said that. As life progresses, we must adapt to changing circumstances, thus altering our attitudes, our beliefs, and actions. It favors out-of-the-box thinking and approaching things from a new angle, because in these moments, there is growth. And that's what the partnership of Uranus and Jupiter are in Taurus, because it's about Earth, and that's what it is. It's the body. So we're taking care of this body, and we are realizing that as we allow these energies, because that's what they are, as we allow these energies to speak to us, and we can be able to withstand and be empowered at the same time. And that says a whole lot. Our boldness, our courage, our belief in what? Not in the things of the past, because those things are still being uprooted for change. And all we can do is share with people, share with them this good news that we're finding out, so that they will be able to believe in themselves, because that's the main thing. Forget all the other stuff, but if you believe in yourself, then you've got 99.99% of it worked out, because then you can go a long way from there. And this is the other thing about Aquarius, and then I'll wrap it up from here. It has this sense of belonging. When you don't feel like you belong to anything, you are lost. But that is not true. We all belong, and recognizing, first of all, that you belong to yourself. And then from there, when that light bulb comes on, that is a powerful transformation, as you said. And so a lot of things with us are being transformed, and we just have to have the open heart. We have to have the open mind that, let me look at that. Am I Am I living in resistance? You have to get up in the mornings and you have to intentionally, it has to continue walking this path. There was this girl I know, she used to cry all the time. When I say bless her heart, she
Hey,
would
Deborah, we're
cry
having
all
a
the
trouble
time.
hearing you. So I don't know what's going on right now. Wait 1 second, Deborah.
Okay.
You're muted. I'm gonna mute you and then unmute you and see if this works. You dropped off, so there should be a little icon down at the bottom. Make sure that you're unmuted.
Okay. Let's see.
It may have kicked it off to being muted. Do you see the little
No,
microphone there that has an
it's
X in it?
Can you hear me though?
All right, so yeah, we can't hear you. Do you want to log off and log back in?
Okay.
All right, we'll do that, and I'll just hold the show down. Thank you.
Okay.
Uranus is having a real fun time with us right now with our communication. So bear with us just momentarily while we get Deborah back. And make sure that you guys like, share, and subscribe to 9 Lives Energy. There is a product that I have been using called Redox, and it is 40% off of their skincare line. And today is the very last day, January 31st. So if you are interested in getting more information about this, just let me know. Some of these products are just absolutely amazing, and I'm going to pull up my Facebook page so you guys can see the difference in what my face looked like before and what it looks like now. Let me share my screen with you. Just give me a second while we share screen. Do the Facebook. Now, I'm not as active on Facebook as I am on Instagram and TikTok, but I wanted to just draw your attention down here to these pictures. And I'll zoom in just a little bit so you guys can see. Is it zooming in? Yes, it is. Good. Look at the difference in my face after using these products. Unbelievable right here, guys. Unbelievable. So if you are wanting to start a new skincare regimen, and then maybe, your, let's see, time has not been kind. Maybe you just partied a little too much, maybe in your 20s and 30s like I did. It is not too late to turn back the clock. This is the products that I was referring to. Look at those lines around my face, and even my eyes aren't near as puffy as they used to be. So if you are interested in turning back the clock, let me know, and I will be more than happy to show you guys more products that are on this line that have made a huge difference in my life. Deborah, chat with
Yes.
us. See if you're able to communicate now and we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
No, it's still not working. All right.
Uh,
Let me try something else, guys. Hold 1 second. Let me see if this will work. All right, now talk, Deb. See if this works.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
No.
Still no?
All right. This is what we're going to do, guys. We're going to do part 1 right now, and we're going to log back in, and we're going to do part 2. It's not going to have the nice, pretty thumbnail, but we'll make that later. Okay? Bye, guys. We will chat with you in part 2 of Uranus Going Direct, the Rebel Rouser Uranus with Practitioner Deborah Robinson.